All right. Thanks so much for coming, everyone. Give me a little thumbs up if you're here. Let me know if you're on the live or on the replay. Just type live or replay below. So today is day 4 of our Grow Your Group Challenge. So we are growing our group, 50 members in 5 days. I would love to know how things are going. Let me know in the comments below. Feel free to post your group so we can all join. We would love to do that. Or you can just tell us how many members you're up to for the week. That would be great so we can all see each other grow. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the power of DMs. So I get a lot of resistance at this point from clients, right? The power of DMs. We've all heard probably that and gotten, right? The problem is we've probably all gotten a lot of spammy DMs. So the fear is I don't want to be that, right? I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be a spammy DM. So we're going to get into that. That is the resistance that we're up against. But it is so powerful that I really think it could be valuable to your business. So that's really the goal for today. So just a real quick recap on the previous 3 days. So day 1, we talked about defining your target audience and why that's so important. Day 2, we talked about setting up your questions in order to qualify the leads that are coming into your group. So that's really important. And setting up a freebie so that you give things away in order to get their email, right? Don't give away, everything, all your secrets, but something free that you can give away to get their email and grow your email list to enter your group. And then yesterday, we talked about using other Facebook groups and how important and how amazing that can really be to help grow your group. So if you want to catch up on any of those, all the replays are in the chat, or I'm gonna pin them to the featured tab above at the top of the group. So feel free to check those out. If you're missing any links or need any information, just let me know in the comments below. Okay, so let's talk about the homework, right? So the homework for yesterday was to find 5 groups that have your target audience. So just say homework below if you did the homework. If you need help or are struggling with finding 5 new groups to join that have your target audience, just let me know. Say find a group below and I'll reach out to you and try and figure that out. Because sometimes it can be a little bit challenging in finding, we want active groups and groups that are already engaging that we can be a part of. So let's talk more about that if you're struggling with that at all. Okay, so today, let's get into today's topic, the power of DMs. So I will say this, if you're new here, my name's Christina and I've been helping businesses for the last decade. I started my first little Etsy business in 2010, so that's been 14, almost 15 years ago. And that's really where I started to realize, oh my gosh, online is giant, right? It's so hard to be seen, to build a website and hope that people will come, right? Set up a profile and hope that people will come and find you on social media. It's gigantic, right? And it's really hard. That's really the struggle, I think, of all business owners. So in 2014, my husband and I, we opened our bike shop, our little bike shop, coffee shop. And that is really where I got my learn by fire moment, right? I call that my giant transformation. I really had to figure out what kind of marketing would get people walking into my door. That's what I needed, right? So we used a lot of social media. We used Facebook a lot here locally because we needed local traffic, obviously. Our community is heavily on Facebook and in Facebook groups. So we used that a lot to our advantage. And I talked a lot about that yesterday. What I did not take advantage of was DMing, right? We would message people and people would message, obviously comment and message the bike shop itself. But we certainly were not taking advantage. And I'm not sure if as a local shop, right, I'm not sure many people want to be messaged by a local business. That feels a little bit spammy. But if they were certainly interested, that would be something I could have kept a little bit tighter grip on. If people were liking and commenting, I think that would have been an open door to potentially reach out to them or at least send them a coupon, right, or something like that. So definitely that was something I did not take advantage of that I wish I would have, knowing what I know now. So unfortunately, right, we had to close our doors at the bike shop. We were only open for a couple of years, but it was really a learn by fire moment, and what a transformation. I loved getting to know our community and and being that place for people to come and kind of hang out and chat and, you know, buy bikes or buy coffee or just get a repair or something like that. So it was really fun to get to know my customers. You're really face to face with people in the local community. So that was really fun. And so when we had to close our doors, it really gave me a passion for wanting to help other small businesses. So that is what I've been doing since then, is helping other businesses be seen, because I feel like with all the right access to the right knowledge and with the right plan and strategy, I really think every business can be successful online, especially in this day and age, right? Every business really has to be online. So there are a number of different, every business is unique, right? And that's what takes, I think, a little bit of fine tuning and figuring kind of that out for your unique business and services. So that's what we're here for. So, so what we did use at the bike shop, we used Facebook heavily, Facebook groups heavily, and our own Facebook group very heavily, and Instagram. We did use Instagram. So I talked a little bit yesterday about how if you're finding people in other Facebook groups, you can certainly private message them on Messenger through Facebook, and that would be an okay way. But I did talk a little bit about, you've probably noticed that Messenger is a little bit harder to figure out their privacy settings, right? So it's a little bit harder to reach their message inbox on Messenger. It's much easier on Instagram. So that's what today's topic is really about, is using the power of the DMs over on Instagram. So what I love about Instagram, and I will say this, so at the bike shop, right, we definitely used Instagram, but I did not take advantage of the DMs. So we got a few likes and there were some people there, and, you know, that probably brought some people into the door, but it was much less interactive as opposed to Facebook for us, right? So for us, Facebook was really much better for a local shop, but Instagram was still growing and lots of people we were able to get from Instagram. But nowadays, I really think Instagram, is in the same way that it has always been. Instagram is never the biggest converter. In the last 10 years that I've been helping businesses, I always say this: Facebook is by far the largest converter, even though it doesn't seem like it, right? You can set your profile up on Facebook and feel like no one's seeing it, but it will always get you more clicks to your website if that's what you're trying to do, or it will always get you a higher conversion rate as opposed to Instagram. Instagram is just not clickable. It's where we're told that we should be, and we, are all kind of striving to make that beautiful Instagram, and it's hot, right? It's always trendy. It's always the shiny new object, and it's amazing. And I think definitely take full advantage of it, but I would not expect people to be clicking from Instagram to wherever you want them to go. It's really hard to get anyone to do anything on Instagram. So what I have learned is the power of the DMs. So I will say this, Instagram, and as a quick side note, right, if Instagram is the least clickable, you've probably noticed, right, you can only have that little link in your profile, or the highlights. The highlights is another place you can have a clickable link. But if Instagram is the least clickable, Pinterest is the most clickable out of all the social media platforms. So I'll say that again, Pinterest is the most clickable of all the social media platforms. I feel like it is such an underutilized platform that so many businesses could be taking better advantage of. So if you're at all interested in Pinterest, you can reach out to me. And I think I did a couple of topics in the lives. They're in the featured tab as well, so you can check that out. But always feel free to reach out to me, because Pinterest is I think, another gold mine. But as far as groups, right, Facebook groups and Pinterest, you could certainly have some pins going to your Facebook group. That would definitely be something to think about. But back to Instagram. Instagram is really about sifting through and finding your audience. So we talked on day one, right, about defining that target audience. Instagram is a really great place to be looking for your target audience. So definitely take advantage of searching for hashtags, searching for users, searching for topics that people who are in your target audience would be searching for. So Instagram is a really great place to find your audience, because most of the time when you follow someone, they will follow you back. And once you kind of fine tune your feed, right, Instagram will show you more people that you have been following and liking. So immediately they will just be sending you your target audience, right? So these are great advantages to be taking to figure out how to interact with those target audience users on Instagram. So certainly you want to be posting, right? And I don't think you need to post every day. You certainly can. If that's already kind of in your wheelhouse, go ahead and keep doing that. Whatever your strategy is on Instagram, whatever you're posting about, that's great. But I think the next step is to take advantage of the DMs. So I say this a lot, posting is not a strategy alone, right? It is just not enough to get people to do something. And that's what we really quickly learned at the bike shop, right? We were posting on Instagram and that was great. We kind of left that to the side. I wish we had taken advantage of the DMs. We found that on Facebook, right, you really have to get a little bit more one-on-one, a little bit more interactive. It wasn't enough just to post. We had to get in the groups, create our own group, and really create events and things like that. You had to do a little bit more than just posting. So I say that a lot. Posting alone is just not enough of an effective strategy. You really have got to take it a step further and go where your customers are. Go to them. So it's great to have, obviously, some beautiful posts, right? And you want to be posting and have things that people can interact with. And that is really where you can capture their attention, then take it to the next step and reach out to them. So I say this, if someone has liked your post or commented on your post, that to me is an interest, right? Whether they end up liking your picture or, are really actually interested in your topic or interested in what you have to offer, that's, remains to be seen. But if they have liked or commented on your post, especially on Instagram, I think that is an open invitation to reach out to them directly. And the DM can be something very simple. Hey, I saw that you were interested in my motivational quote that I posted on Monday. We are sharing a lot more of these quotes over in my Facebook group. I'd love to have you over there. And to me, that is not salesy. That is a free something that I'm offering them. I'm offering them a service and I'm not asking them to pay for anything, right? All I'm saying is, hey, I've got more of this free stuff, more tips, more of this stuff all over in my Facebook group. We'd love to have people like you, right? Or I'd love to connect with you over in my group. So you're offering them something and you're getting them over to your Facebook group. So again, I talked yesterday how I love how having your own Facebook group is a great way to kind of funnel your and focus. Focus is really the main word I was looking for there. Because funnel, right, to me, funnel means so many different things to so many different people, but it is, I really think, a way to focus. Where am I sending everybody? So if I can just focus on my Facebook group, wherever I'm at, right, whether it's on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, wherever I'm at, if I'm just remaining with my main focus, I'm trying to get people to my Facebook group. Then from there, that's when then I can think about, okay, what is my nurturing and process within the Facebook group? So that's a different story, right? But getting people to your Facebook group, that really captures their attention and gets them into your world to where you can start kind of warming them up and getting to know them, right? That's really the goal, building that relationship. So I really think taking advantage of your beautiful posts on Instagram, whoever is liking them, right? If it's only a few people, that's great. The more views and likes and comments you can get, the better. But reach out to people directly who are in your target audience. Even if they haven't liked or seen your stuff yet, right? If you are searching, that's what's beautiful about Instagram. If you are searching for those users, I definitely think that you can send them a cold DM, right? People are definitely worried about cold DMs. But if it's something I think very neutral about like an invitation to come to your Facebook group, I don't think that is a cold, hard sell, right? I feel like that is a neutral, hey, I saw that you were posting about this. We're talking about that over in my Facebook group. I'd love to have you. Or I loved your recent post on XYZ. We're talking about this over in my Facebook group. We'd love to have this. Or I respect, your position on this. We'd love to have you over here. So I just think it's a really nice, neutral, and smooth transition to invite people from Instagram to your Facebook group. So it's a really easy, I think, way of growing your Facebook group and finding the right people, finding your target audience. So, and many of you, right, have probably been invited to this group from Instagram, right? We probably met over on Instagram. So, and I would love to hear, right, if you felt like it was too salesy or if it was like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting a community, right? The reason that you joined over here is because whatever I had said, I'd love to have, mompreneurs and coaches just like you. So hopefully that you can find similar people in your target audience over on Instagram and invite them over to your group. It's a really, I think, it's a gold mine, right? It's finding your target audience over on Instagram. There are so many people on Instagram, obviously, and it's a great way to transfer your users and interest over on Instagram to the Facebook group. Because, like I said, right, it's really hard to get anyone on Instagram to do anything, really. And think about your own habits, right? I say this a lot, that if you're just scrolling, very rarely on Instagram, we kind of become these two different personas, right? Or different personas on all of the social media platforms. On Facebook, we're used to scrolling and we might be more inclined to click, right? Because things are clickable, frankly, right? Quite frankly. So on Facebook, but again, it's still a little bit clunky, I think, to go off of Facebook because Facebook doesn't want you off of Facebook, right? So, but Instagram is even less. It's just not clickable. So notice your own habits on Instagram. We're scrolling, we're liking, very rarely are we commenting. Maybe we are. The more you comment, the more people will comment on your stuff, which is great. So I always encourage everyone to be engaging with certainly people in your target audience, but the people who are already engaging with your profile as well. So just remember your own habits, right? You're scrolling and you're liking, you're really not clicking. Very rarely are you going to people's profile and clicking in those few links in their profile. Some people may be, right? And that's awesome if you are finding people that way, but it's really that's really a select few. Or if you have a really giant account, the more people, the more volume, the more clicks obviously you will get. But I really think it's taking advantage of that interest in your Instagram account and getting them to come over to your free, amazing sharing tips group over on Facebook, right? So that is really the advantage of and the power of DMs. So the homework for today is going to be creating a script. So if you have thought about this or if you're hesitant, you can certainly reach out if you need some ideas, but come up with a standard script of how you would invite people from the DM or from Instagram in their DMs over to the Facebook group. So my script says something like this, right? I loved your recent post. I would love to have you over in my group. I forget how I say that. I loved your recent post on motivational stuff or health and wellness or something like that. And then I just created a new group. That's, I think, what I said. I created a new networking group where I'd love to have you promote your business over in my Facebook group. So that can be really enticing, right, for a new business. If they're wanting to grow their business, they're looking for a place to do that. So the Facebook group would be something that they could get out of it. Or, for some of you, if you are offering tips on wellness or, hey, I saw your recent post on losing weight. I don't know that people are posting necessarily unless they're offering another service, but I saw your recent post on meal planning, right? And we talk all about that over in my group where we share recipes and ideas with each other and really support each other. So if it's someone who's looking for that support in the specific area that you offer, that would be a great way to invite them and say, hey, we're sharing all of this over in my group. I'd love to have you. We're always looking for other women, like-minded women, that want to share. So something along those lines, if you wanted to come up with a script, that would be your homework for today, is come up with a standard script that you can kind of send to a lot of people. So the goal would be to create that script. And for the homework today, invite 10 people from Instagram, right? So totally doable. You can invite more, but try and figure out how you could invite 10 people from Instagram over to your Facebook group and figure out what that looks like. So Instagram, unfortunately, is a little bit weird about copying the link to your Facebook group. So you just have to include it in your profile. And in that script, you could say, hey, check my profile to join. Or you can always try, if someone has figured out how to copy your group link in the right way that Instagram messages will allow, definitely let me know, because I think that's such a challenge, right? It's all owned by Meta. I don't understand why they wouldn't want you to share a link to a Facebook group in the DMs, but for whatever reason, it is restricted. So yeah, just figure out a way, right? Like, check my profile to join, and then, you know, you can check with them if the link is working, and kind of different ways like that. So figure out a way around that to get them from your DMs to your Facebook group. That's the goal. So if any of this is sounding scary, right? I run into this a lot. This is definitely the point where people start to get a little bit hesitant to send DMs, right? They start to feel like this is out of their comfort zone, right? It's one thing to post and put yourself out there, but it's another thing to take that step further and reach out to your potential customers. So it can be really scary, right, at first. If you feel like you've never talked, they're complete strangers, you just found them on the internet and you're reaching out to them, right? And it's true, it can be a little bit scary, but I always say this, that if you are putting in the effort of creating this beautiful content on Instagram and nobody is either seeing it or acting on it, how frustrating, right? So wouldn't you want to take that step and reach out to them directly, especially if they have already liked one of your posts or commented? I mean, I think that is an invitation to be like, hey, I might want more information, right? If I've liked something, I might be open to more information, especially if it's a free something, right? So you could certainly do that and say, hey, you know, thanks so much for the recent like. I'd love to have you over in my Facebook group where we're sharing more stuff about XYZ, right? Or hey, I have this freebie that I just posted over in my group. We'd love to have you over there. So that can be another way. If you have like a tangible freebie, like maybe it's a printable or some kind of, you know, free product, you could certainly tell them, hey, come join my group. I've already posted this freebie over there. It's there waiting for you, right? Kind of a thing. So that can be a really great way to get people in your group. So yeah, try to really, if you're feeling hesitant, right? This is the part where a lot of people feel hesitant to send DMs. And I completely understand it. Nobody wants to be sold to all the time, right? Or feel like they're being kind of that sleazy salesman, right? Nobody wants to be that. But I really think it's a neutral way of inviting people. I'm just inviting you to my Facebook group, right? I'm not sending you a DM saying, hey, buy this. That would feel too much, right? That would feel way too bold, right? And but if I'm just sharing some free stuff over my Facebook group, I'd love to have you over there, right? It's a really, I think, smooth, neutral way of getting them to your Facebook group. So definitely, if you feel that fear creeping in, I often say, right, our fear creeps in when we try to do something new, right? When we're thinking about getting out of our comfort zone, our ego is really like, hey, stop, this is scary, this is something new, right? So really try to notice that when you feel hesitant or a block to do something, right? That is really our ego kind of jumping in and saying, hey, stop, this is new, this is different. I want to stay safe with what I've always done. So really try to notice those feelings if you're feeling hesitant about sending those DMs, and really think about what would make you feel better? What kind of a script would make you feel not salesy, right? And to me, a neutral invitation to this free group, I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for, you to really do anything except get something out of it. Get this free service, get this freebie, come on over to the community and be supported, kind of a thing. So definitely if you're having some hesitation about that, feel free to, if you want to talk more, you can always reach out to me. There are lots of different ways to do this, right? With every business, it can be a little bit, we have to get a little bit brainstormy and a little bit creative on how this looks for every business. But I would love to chat with any of you if you have a particular question, or every business is different, right? So if you're trying to figure out what your group would look like or how you could even invite people over, then I'd be happy to talk with any of you. So another thing that we all struggle with, right, is that can be really scary is when we take that investment, right? When we think about investing in our business and giving a free or giving a large chunk, that is always scary, right? And I always say one of the biggest things, if you're wanting to be a coach, I have learned this over the years, that coaches use other coaches, right? All coaches use coaches. So if you are wanting to move your business, the best way is to invest in yourself. I really believe that, because every time I've invested in my business, I have grown leaps and bounds, right? You can be stuck in this kind of trial and error mode for years, right? And why waste that time when there are people who have already done what you have done? There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. Take that extra step to get the knowledge from other people, right? And that's valuable. So really feel like you can invest in your own business in order to get the knowledge that people have learned so that you don't have to, right? I always say I've made all those mistakes so that you don't have to. I don't want you to waste years doing the same stuff that I did that I already know doesn't work, right? Why would you need to waste your time doing that? So learn from the people who have gone before you, and invest in your business, right? That's really, again, that's a way of fear creeping up saying, hey, we haven't done something like this before. This is scary. I don't know if I can handle becoming that big, or I don't think that's safe, right? And so that's our ego and our fear really creeping in, wanting to keep us small and safe. So those are some really challenges, right? I think of every mindset of all business owners. That fear creeps in oftentimes when we're trying something new and wanting to expand and wanting to grow. So those are some things to be aware of, right? Just notice your own mindset when you're thinking about doing something new. So those are things that I have learned that I think is really helpful to move yourself and move your business to the next step forward. So if any of this sounds like you feel like you need a little bit more fine tuning, I would be happy to chat with any of you. I have, so I've created my 12-week program. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about that. I briefly talked about it yesterday, but I've created this program because what I have found is it really takes, I think, a little bit more step-by-step process. So 50 members in 5 days is awesome. So hopefully all of you can get there with these tips that I've shared each day. Setting up your overall strategy is a little bit more involved, right? And I have really found that it takes about 12 weeks to really make sure you've got all the pieces really fine-tuned so that you've got an automatic system that is consistent and effective, right? We want it to be all set up so that everything is kind of on autopilot. If something is not a system, if something is not kind of already in your habits, it's going to be hard to be consistent, right? We have to kind of trust the process and make sure we have all of the pieces built along the way. So that's what this 12-week program, and it's a one-on-one coaching package where we can talk specifically about your business. So if there's something that you feel like, you know, oh, I heard her talk about this, but I'm not sure how that would apply to my specific business. That's what's so great about one-on-one coaching is that it really customizes. We can talk about your specific struggles, and you might have already moved leaps and bounds in one area, but then there's another area that is a little bit different for your business. So those are the great things about getting a different set of eyes on your business is that someone, you know, I always say business owners, we can get really stuck in the weeds, right? We are in it every day where it's really hard to kind of take that larger backed up point of view to really see how to move forward. So whenever you're feeling stuck, right, that's really where you can then think about, okay, I want to take advantage of someone else's knowledge who's done this before, right? I really want to move my business forward. And I think we all have different perspectives that we can all share from each other and learn from each other. So the 12-week program is called my Lead Accelerator Program. So it is really about getting you those actual leads. So it is one thing to have 1,000 followers on Facebook or Instagram, but if no one is converting to sales, that's not a lead, right? That's not somebody who we don't even know where they're at. They could have just followed us so that they could get a follow back. We know nothing about them, right? It's really not helpful if those are not converting to actual leads. So the Facebook group system is really about getting those qualified leads into your system, into your realm, into your world, and then warming them up into your sales and turning them into your paying clients. So if that's something that you are wanting to accelerate, right, this is the Lead Accelerator Program. Over the next 12 weeks, we can move your business and get you those sales. So let's grow your business together and figure out all of those steps along the way. I call it the Marketing Mastery Program because we can really talk about all your overall strategy, not necessarily just the Facebook group, although I think that is the most effective right now for a lot of coaching businesses. I think the Facebook group is really where you can get and build these one-on-one relationships, right? And that's really what, as a coach, you really want to be building those relationships and actually talking to people. Having a Facebook profile and an Instagram profile, it's it's really hard to build those one-on-one connections, right? Genuinely. So I really think that the Facebook group is a great way to do that. But my overall program, my 12-week program, we look at your specific business and what pieces are missing out of all of my 12 steps. So I have 12 weeks, 12 steps of what parts are missing in your business that could help it move forward and get more leads and more qualified leads. So that's really what my system is all about, my program. If anyone is interested, I would love to hear from you. You can just say strategy. If you're interested in a strategy session, let's talk more about that. Also at the end of this challenge, so tomorrow is the last day of the challenge, I'll be announcing a winner. So I'm doing a giveaway of a power hour. So I have a strategy session power hour that's normally $250, and I'm giving one away for free. So if you're interested in a free power hour, just say challenge accepted below, and I'll definitely enter you into that giveaway, so that if you are if you feel stuck at any point in your business, this power hour can be really amazing, right? In an hour, we can really put together a 6-month plan to really the steps that are needed to put the pieces in place and move your business forward. So we can talk about, specific things like if you're wanting a DM script or what to post on your Facebook group, right? That's really going to be kind of the next step, how to get it engaging and what to do with your group. If you're kind of stuck on that, those are some things that we could talk about in that strategy session. So those are all the things that we can talk more about. If you have any interest in that, just let me know. I think that is everything for today. So for the homework, if you want to come up with a DM script and invite 10 people from Instagram to your Facebook group. So I would love to hear how that is going. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I would love to chat some more. So thanks so much for watching.